Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Isaac Taobeso. I am the chairman of Buki Conservation Foundation and also the Calabar South coordinator of Perseverance in the Diaspora Environmental Sustainability and Biodiversity Club. The video you are watching right now is the nature of what the University of Calabar environment has become as a result of indiscriminate disposal of plastic waste. Looking at the gutters, you will see a lot of plastics littered all over. These plastics are generated by both staff, students, and visitors. The University of Calabar is a very small community that comprises about 50,000 members. So it is actually not easy to manage such a high population in a very small community. The population is dominated by students, most of them coming from different backgrounds, from different cultures, religion, and beliefs. They find it difficult for them to, adapt to what is already in place. The University of Calabar in the past has a culture of cleanliness. This is a University of Calabar Senate chamber. And you can look at the gutters around. You can see they are filled up with plastic waste. Plastic waste emanating from sachet water, from carbonated drinks, from sachet drinks, and all manner of single plastics. It will interest you to know that the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, in 2013 published an article stating that over 400 million tons of plastics are produced annually, and more than 14 million tons of these plastics are single-use plastics, and a lot of them they end up in our environment, the landfills. These plastics are generated from so many areas, and when these plastics are dumped in the landfills, in the gutters, a lot of them end up in the aquatic environment. The University of Calabar, this gutter, if you follow this gutter down, it will take you to the Core River, Calabar. So when it rains, all these plastics will be washed down to the river. And imagine the devastating effect of that in the aquatic environment. Imagine the devastating effect in the aquatic environment. So, it is necessary for everyone of us in the University of Calabar to join hands with the management of the University of Calabar to ensuring that the University of Calabar is kept clean, green, and sustainable. Now, these plastics that you are seeing, when they are washed into the aquatic environment, they cause so many damages to the aquatic environment. Most of the organisms, like fishes in the river, they will end up ingesting these plastics, and most of them will die of starvation. Most of them will die as a result of being entangled with the plastics. So it is necessary. If you look at this picture or this video, you see plastics littered everywhere as a result of the rain that fell. It packed all the plastics and littered them everywhere. Actually not very healthy in our environment. So the aquatic environment is really being affected by this plastic pollution, as well as the terrestrial environment. Now for the aquatic environment, like I talked about, most of the fishes ingest, when they see all these plastics, especially those colorful plastic, they ingest them. They'll just think it is food, and as a result they will still die of starvation. Some will die as a result of being entangled with those plastics. So it is very necessary for us to get to understand that these plastics do not really disintegrate. They are not biodegradable. It takes a very long time before they will disintegrate. And even if they do, they disintegrate into what we call microplastics. And all these microplastics, they still disintegrate into nanoplastics, which of course will filter into the water we drink. And it has been found that a lot of the chemicals that were used in the production of these plastics are known to be carcinogenic. They are known to cause cancer. So when these chemicals filters into the water we drink, they cause a lot of health implication or health challenges. So that's why it is necessary for us to dispose these plastics appropriately. So I'm making this video so that we'll get to understand that we need to be conscious of the way we dispose plastics in our environment. The University of Calabar management has tried as much as they can, but the consciousness of cleanliness, the consciousness of appropriate disposal of plastics is very necessary for all the university members. So I want to encourage us to ensure that whenever we drink sachet water, we dispose it appropriately. Whenever we take carbonated drink, whether it is Coca-Cola, whether it is Pepsi, whether it is Mirinda, whatever, we should dispose it appropriately, not just throwing it to anywhere that we like. This is where they will end up. Look at this gutter. This is where we will have the ring road that leads to the University of Calabar Multipurpose Cooperative Society, University of Calabar Bookshop. So that place has become an eyesore as a result of our accumulation of plastics. So I'm calling on the university management, I'm calling on university members, everybody, staff, students, and visitors to stop indiscriminate disposal of plastics in our community. It is our collective responsibility, to dispose plastic waste appropriately whenever we use it. Nowadays, everything has become plastic. Water, plastics. Drink, plastic. Sachet drinks, plastics. Gin, plastics. Everything is being packaged with the use of plastic. So it's like we can't really do without plastics now, but we can control it. We can control it. Now, I'm aware that the University of Calabar have been able to constitute a task force committee, and this task force committee really has so much to do. Well, the task force committee cannot do, can't just do much more than, reminding everybody in the university that it is our collective responsibility. So their own is to show us the way forward, is to give us some guidelines, is to making sure that everybody in the university should use plastic and, dispose it appropriately. Now, number one is the consciousness of the university management that, look, plastic waste is a very serious menace. For the ones that end up in the landfills, in the land that disintegrate and fill and that they find their way into our water that we drink. Sometimes, and this same report by UCN had also discovered that there were a lot of that discovered the plastics in the placenta of a woman. In our system, if we check, you will see plastics. In one way or the other, we have ingested this plastic unknowingly. So, I want to please encourage us to ensure that we dispose plastic appropriately. It has become a very serious environmental hazard. Very serious environmental hazard. Just defacing the aesthetic nature of the environment is also another problem. When you look at the environment, it was supposed to be clean, green, but you see the environment looking very awful, looking very dirty. Look at it because of what? Plastics. So I want to encourage us. The university management has constituted the committee number one. For me, what I feel, number one, what we need to do is conscientization exercise to conscientize every member of the community that look, the time has come for us to ensuring that what we remove plastics from the community. Now, number one, what do? If we think back the 1999 era where Donald Duke was the governor of Cross River State, everybody had this consciousness of cleanliness. You can't just drink sachet water and throw the sachet. Rather, you look for a dustbin where to dump it. So the university, after conscientizing our members, we are going to have in strategic positions along Yandele Boulevard, along pavilions, the lecture halls, along public buildings. No, we need to have dustbins. We need to have bucket of plastic bucket or dustbin where when someone takes such a water, I can drop it there. That is number one. Number two, every department, every unit needs to ensure that they get their own, a plastic collector, like a waste bin where they will keep it when somebody takes plastic or maybe coke or whatever, you go and drop it there. Then we'll have a very strategic, people who will be responsible for the waste management, where they will take it a particular point where they will drop it and where the entire, truck will come and pack everything to where it should be disposed appropriately. Now, still looking at the video, when rain falls, look at how the environment looks. This is an environment, of intellectuals, where we have professors, we have doctors, we have people who are known to be highly intellectuals. So we should not be associated with the dirty environment, because we already know the deleterious, the harmful effect of dirty environment. So we can't be healthier than the environment we find ourselves. So, and secondly, what the university also need to do is to ensuring that everybody who is using plastic must have a particular dustbin. For example, those selling snacks in the university community, in partnership with Kobok, everybody who is using plastic, whether you are a bookshop or you sell sachet water or you sell bottled water, you run a restaurant, whatever you are selling that you are associated with plastic, you must have a dustbin. That is number one, so that it can be dropped there. At the end of the day, it is taken to where it's supposed to be disposed appropriately. Then also, people who are equally selling, like those who are hawking, they are the ones that are causing more harm to the environment. Those who are selling, like those hawking, those ones who are selling selling sachet water, it would have been just easier for them to be stopped, for them not to even just come to the university environment at all. But because we don't want to do that, what we need to do, or because we don't want to stop them, what we just need to do is to ensuring that all of them are registered. as they register, they ensure that as they come to the environment, they have their own waste bin. As somebody takes or drinks sachet water, the person will drop it in that their waste bin. The person will take it. Now, the strategy is that when you are coming, what particular kind of sachet water are you selling? Are you selling Blue Rose, Blue Nile, Unical water, whatever water you are selling in the environment? Everybody needs to register a business and the sachet water that he or she is selling, so that whenever we see any sachet, those persons who are selling that sachet water will be held responsible. So there are a lot of strategies that we need to adopt to ensuring that uh, people comply to the guidelines for ensuring that our environment is kept clean, green, and sustainable. And also the need for enforcement. Yes, we'll have volunteers from different departments who will be watching. By the time they see either a student or a staff that will drop sachet water on the floor or drain any bottled water and throw the bottle, the person will be called to order, because it is a very serious environmental hazard. We must take it as an emergency. We must take it as something that we must put our heads together to ensure that the University of Calabar is kept clean, green, and sustainable. So on behalf of Bukit Conservation Foundation, I want to thank you for listening. You are welcome. God bless you.